We'll talk about something that has to do with the US and some restrictions. And then we'll go through the newspaper review where Ibrahim will bring us all those headlines that have made it to the newspaper. We get to talk about it and dissect it right here on this table. Just after that, we will go to the FCT where we have really important conversations. And then we will come back to Lagos where the beautiful Olamide will take us through everything that has been trending in the world of social media and more. So please grab your coffee and let's have a fantastic show. But we'll start with the story where the United States will particularly suspend the issuance of certain visas to Nigerian nationals from January 1st, 2026, now following a new presidential proclamation on border and national security. This security-focused policy issued targets 19 countries to restrict entry of foreign nationals deemed high risk. Now, these countries are Nigeria, Angola, Benin, Cuba, Senegal, Tanzania, Togo, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe, among others. Now, some exemptions include immigrant visas for ethnic and religious minorities facing persecution in Iran, dual nationals using a passport from any unaffected country. Now, special immigrant visas for eligible U.S. government employees, among others. So, Mr. Biodun, this is the conversation we're having this morning. U.S. has been doing a lot. They have been saying a lot, from when they started with, calling Nigeria a country of particular concern, all that buhaha that went on. And now they are beginning to do this restriction. A lot of people are worried. I was reading on social media the other day, a certain young man that had already gotten his visa, gotten his scholarship to go to school in America. All of a sudden, they denied him and, he couldn't do that again. In one way or the other, this is really affecting people that had plans, to travel all the way to America. But what does this say to us? Is it time for us to start tightening our borders and tightening our Nigeria as well? Because this is what we have.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, we shouldn't make any mistake about it. When Trump was campaigning, he made clear his intention. Look, that he would have to reduce migration into U.S. That he said it clearly, and then he's been acting in that way. In addition to that, he's also been putting pressure, on Europe to do the same thing, to curb migration. He's made statements such as Europe is changing, in complexion and all that. So, of course, we've seen the reactions from Europe. Some countries are also trying to clamp down, on migration. But the fact of the matter is nobody can stop migration globally. It's a feature of human existence. It has always been. People move from one place to the other. The only thing you can do is to restrict the number of people moving from one place to the other. Yes, we have to look inwards. What are we looking for in America? Education, health, and some few things. So we should be looking inwards with a view to do a kind of reprovision of those services within our own country so that we'll reduce the need, for those trips to those countries. And do not forget, some institutions will also suffer. In the health sector, in the educational sector, already some universities are complaining that a major stream of income, which is foreign education, migrants, it's disappearing. So it's both ways.
It's both ways. And in one way or the other, they will also, feel the impact as well. But let's not forget, when Trump came into power in 2017, he was very strong on America first. It's something that we cannot deny, the fact that he said it several times that, he's putting America first. Is it a time where African countries as well, and I'm talking about Nigeria particularly because we're in Nigeria, is it a time that we also put Nigeria first?
Absolutely. Trump has always pushed an American first agenda. And I think every country would be wise to put their country first in terms of global relations. I remember when he was re-elected and he came into power, there was a restriction on AIDS medicine, and the whole of Africa was shaken by that one decision. The funding of AIDS was restricted or dialed down to some extent, and the whole of Africa suffered. But it's important to remember that this is not a complete revocation. It's more like a restriction. But the question I want to ask is that when they were grouping countries to put these restrictions on, why was Nigeria included? It makes me ask that question. We're not the only one, but why was Nigeria, why did we find ourselves in that category? I think what Abuja needs to do now, what they've been trying to do, as we saw, is improve our diplomatic credibility, which means that when they're grouping countries like us, they should not call us. When they're grouping countries like this, they should not call us. There are 18 other countries that are involved, and it's unfortunate the fact that the people that are going to suffer from this restriction the most are first-time applicants. You have students, you have families who want to migrate. So it's people who have actually never been to America that are going to suffer the most. For
me, it's even education for people that want to.
I don't like the fact that the US makes one move, and unfortunately, we all all become jittery. And it shows our reliance on the Western agenda.
You know, but Ibrahim, also thinking about it, we know that Ghana didn't make the list, and there has been conversations that, because Ghana is always listening to what Trump is saying, you know, that's why we always see them exempted from the list. But it's sad to see, you know, that a country like Nigeria, that, you know, we do trade with the US in one way or the other. There's no way you say that you would not travel to the US. It may be for education, it may be for health, it may just be for anything. So in as much as we're saying that let's fix our country, let's make our health good, let's make our education good, but in one way or the other, you'll still have to travel.
That's true. Countries that actually did not kowtow to US, you know, idiosyncrasies, they always, you know, get out of the list. They don't get to make the list. Nigeria, at the point, you remember that when Trump started, you know, throwing people out of the country, he was saying that we should take some refugees from Venezuela, you know, to our country, and we stood firm that no, we weren't going to do that. And some other policies that this current administration is also putting up in place is affecting them in terms of what they feel. Okay, we can always leech on a country like Nigeria, leech on a country like Zimbabwe, South Africa. You know that he's at loggerhead against South Africa, you know, over this, you know, migrant issue. You know, the double standard is something that is actually very loud to me. At the point you said there is a Christian genocide in Nigeria, and then you are tightening your borders against the Christians you are supposed to allow to come into your country. Isn't that hypocrisy? Isn't that double standard?
Ibrahim, not to cut you short, I remember when he put that and everybody, Nigerians were jubilating. I'm like, you do not even understand what is going on.
The moment I knew that Trump was going to be president, I know that everybody's going to be in soup. Because when they were shouting, we want Trump, we want that, this guy, as if said, was consistently saying, I will throw people out of his country. So if you see what ICE is doing in the US, even some US citizens were being thrown out of the country. That is I don't know how to describe that. So whatever it is, I don't give a hoot as regards what America does, whether it is UK, whether it is Europe, whether it's a wake-up call for our politicians in Nigeria who are always going for medical tourism. Any small thing they're out there to get themselves treated. We should strengthen our own education sector, strengthen everything. So much so that when they say they are tightening up their borders, we are also doing the same for them.
In the spirit of good journalism, do you guys think that perhaps, even if it's 1%, that we have a role to play in the way that we've carried the Nigerian narrative abroad? Honestly,
absolutely, as Nigerians.
Well. And I'll tell you something.
Sorry, Maria, before you go, do you know that some Americans are not able to bring their wives into the US? I saw a video of an American who's lamenting that the wife is black, Nigerian. I did something, I've forgotten the name. He's not able to bring the wife into the US. So he's going to affect the whole of the families.
I'll tell you something. And this one, I saw it firsthand. You know, when Trump said what he said about Nigeria, you need to see the amount of Nigerians that went under Trump's post to be commenting and demarketing Nigeria. So for me, that's a problem as well, because I feel like when we do that, oftentimes we forget that America is not home. We can go to America for anything, but we will come back to Nigeria. This is our home. So with us as well, I think there's so many things that we forget when we are making statements like this, especially on social media, that never forgets.
Now, even beyond social media, there's a political leader in Nigeria, a prominent political leader that openly called, for Americans' intervention.
I can imagine that shameless thing that was done.
And such a person will want to rule this country. It's quite. I was ashamed when I had it. Do not forget one thing also. There's also the economic agenda. The Americans, for the first time, realized that the balance of trade is in our favor. And therefore, they're seeking to reverse that. So a lot of issues are there, putting pressure left, right, and center. It's not necessarily about what America is saying it is, which is about the Christian agenda, like Ibrahim pointed out. So why are you shutting out the Christian?
You said you want to help us. So what is going on? Well, we'll just keep our fingers crossed and see how it pans out. But if there's anything that this is teaching us as Nigerians, is to not demarket our country. Home is home. No matter wherever you go in life, you always come home. There's a song that says wherever you go, you will make sure that you come back to your place. So yes, we'll take a breather now, and when we come back, Ibrahim is ready for the newspaper review. Don't go anywhere. This is TVC Breakfast.